reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Good morning, Mechwarriors and Fellow Gamers. Welcome back to Commander Hollow's Mech Bay. I'm Commander Hollow. Today we're going to continue working on the Black Lanner, or the Green Lanner, as I've been calling it. And we're going to do the cockpit, and we're going to do some weapon detailing. So this is always fun stuff. I really enjoy doing this kind of work because you get to work with some fun colors. So let's talk about the colors. For the cockpit, we're going to be using, let's see here, we have the two of our black light colors. These are both from Folk Art. These are the pink rose neon acrylic paint and purple neon acrylic paint. Is this a zoom in moment? Yeah, it's a zoom in moment. Let's check it out. And then we're also going to be using the Dragonfly Glaze Gold, Red, Violet Shift. Gold, Red, Violet. And that's a really hard label to read on the camera. But at any rate, this one's, obviously it's optional. I just like to add a little bit of a glossy glaze to the cockpits, and it has this kind of fun reflective surface that it creates. You can see it a little bit here where I had previously used it, and it gives a nice, they say gold, red, violet, but I just think it's kind of more of a pinky violet, lavender violet sort of look to it. So we're going to be using that for the cockpit, and then when we're ready for it, we will move on to the weapons. We'll be using the Tuscan Red gloss acrylic for the missile bits, and we will use neon green and neon blue for the lasers. We have some ER medium lasers and some ER large, one ER large laser. While I drop the red. Nice work there. Okay. Now, we're going to start with the multi-surface pink. And the reason for that is we want to be able to give it time to dry a little bit before we apply the purple on top. Because that is way more than I need. Oh well. Okay, let's see. So this doesn't really have any flow to it. It's a little thick. So we're going to add a little bit of water just to loosen it up, just to thin it out. And I have to say, this pink is, I have neon pink in another one, but it's really more like bubblegum pink. But this pink rose, I think, is a nice, almost magenta tone to it. Not quite magenta, but I don't know, maybe magenta, I don't know. Point is, I like it. I think it creates some really nice results when doing this. I think someone referred to this cockpit style as synthwave, which I thought was pretty cool. I enjoyed that compliment. And we're just going to do a little bit So what we're trying to do, we want to cover up the white that we previously put on here. Not everything that got dry brushed, but everything that has that strong white highlight. We're going to cover in pink. Now, and part of why we're only doing a small section in the pink is this stuff is way more reactive to the black light than the purple is, in my opinion. It just creates, I mean, it glows. It glows really well. The purple, it really is affected by the undercoat. So with the purple, if you have a strong undercoat, like if you have like a white, the purple will show up very easily. But if you have a dark undercoat, the purple, I mean, you can put multiple layers on there and it just does not show up as well. All right, so we're going to let that dry a little bit. In the meantime, I think we'll throw some green in this guy. You can see I still have some black and white paint from the last session. I still have the silver paint too. Hey, look at that. All right. Well, this isn't going to take very much, so let's just... Now, we're just going to grab a little bit. And let's zoom in on this bad boy. Okay, we just want to drop it right in these gun barrels. And you know, now I'm thinking, now I'm wondering, should I be putting a little dot of white in the gun barrels to give the neon paint a little more of a base? I think we're going to try that. We're not going to do a lot. We're just going to do a little bit here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put it right over top. Boop. Boop. You don't have to make the boop noise when you add your paint. It's you know, it just helps it adhere. You know, if you make little cartoon noises, it's proven. They proved it with science. So, all right, let's see. Let's see how that does. And so we'll let that white dry a little bit. Let's go back and throw a little more pink on the cockpit. There we go. Yeah, the white undercoat definitely pushes it more towards the light pink. But, you know, you get a few coats on there. And it'll settle down to that deeper that deeper sort of magenta color we were talking about. All right. Ooh, I like how that's shaping up. Get out of here, green. You don't need to be in the shot anymore. I think after we finish on these weapons, we might add a little bit of silver to the tips of the barrels, just to make them pop a little more. Grab a little more light. Okay, let's do some neon blue. Just a little smidge. We don't need a lot. Just a smidge. And I really prefer if I can do it just on the white. Okay. Get that blue off. And we'll do some green again. The lime green is very similar to the neon green, but the lime green is not the active, not the same way that I found the bright palm was when I was working on the Ghost Regiment. That was a bit of a surprise. Add just a little more blue. Okay. Let's move on and let's do some purple. Oh, I just realized I painted all that while zoomed out. Oh well, I hope you enjoyed it. Anyways, so we've got the purple here, and we are going to apply that to the cockpit now. Now, we're going to do this differently than we did with the pink. We're going to apply this to the entire cockpit, including over top of the pink. And this will shift the color down. Oh, we need to thin this out. This is, ooh, look at this thing. Look at that bubble just hanging out there. Bubble of paint. That's too thick. We don't need this to be, we don't want this to be actually super watery, because we want it to stay where it is. We do not want it to flow down over the support beam parts of the cockpit, but we do need it to be thinner than that, otherwise it'll dry unevenly. It won't look very good. I think I had a little bit of an issue with that on one of the baboons, but that's why I used them for testing. I'm not they're a very light unit with with 3 weapons. I think they have 3 LRM-5s, as opposed to 1 LRM-15, if I remember correctly here, which is an interesting use of weaponry. So while you get 3 different rolls to hit with multiple LRM-5s like that. And sometimes that works in your favor, sometimes that doesn't. But 3 different chances to hit is very, can be really good when you're trying to roll, you know, to hit a really small, fast mech. Because you don't always need to do a lot of damage to them, you know, but just hitting them can be the challenge. You know, it's like they say, speed is armor. Very common, very popular expression in my gaming group. And you can see how, you know, you apply it to the pink, tones it right down. Right down. And I think it gives it a nice, trying to get the right angle so you're not, so that big bulky gun arm doesn't block your view. Somehow I managed to get the purple paint on my fingers, but that's okay. I mean, you can probably see how you know, applying that purple to the area that did not get dry brushed white, so it's just black under there. There's really a difference. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that looks nice. All right, now I'm kind of running out of some space in the paint tray. I might need to bust out a second one. So, you know, I think we're going to do that. Ta-da! Second paint tray. All right, now we're going to move on to the Tuscan Red Gloss Acrylic. So I'm, you know, doing the missiles. They are not going to be, you know, they're not an energy weapon. They're just missiles. So my rationale is that they wouldn't be. I don't think it's appropriate to paint them with the neon paint. Nor is it appropriate to knock over the camera. I don't know what I'm doing. So I don't want the missiles to be reactive to the neon paint. I want them to be shiny and noticeable, you know. But I don't want them to be, how do I say, necessarily shining in the night. You know, and I think that's also interesting. I noticed that the little missile bits are prominent in the SRM-6. Let's zoom in. They're prominent in the SRM-6, but they are not in the LRM-10 or the LRM-9, as the case is with this. Man, that LRM still has a bit of a few spots where they need some darkening up still. Yeah, I gotta give him credit for this metallic paint because, man, it is dark. Let's see if we can cheat a little bit with this LRM9 issue. Alright, we're going to let that dry. And while that's drying, okay, let's go back to the SRMs. As you can see, this is pretty thick paint right now, and I am going to keep it like that. I'm not diluting this at all. I'm going to go right ahead and work with it as is, because this will, I've found that when it's thicker like this, it will stand up a little better when applied to the missile bits. Yeah. Yeah, I think those are sitting pretty well. Okay. I think the red, I went with a deeper red because I think it goes better with the overall color scheme. I think this green is a little bit deeper. You know, most of the green, obviously the lime green is lighter, but alrighty, I think now we're going to do just a little bit of pink on the outside here. Okay. Now the real question is what we're going to do with that dragonfly glaze, because this stuff is, we're looking on that, yeah. Oh, I think the lasers are good. Okay, so I think get the feeling we need just a little more of the purple over here, because this last little section here, I don't know if you can see it, it's like the rear right quarter panel of the cockpit. It's just a little pinky in my opinion. I'm not sure how well I got those before. That seemed a bit heavy, so I went ahead and blotted some of that. Okay, I like that effect. I think that's really working with the curved cockpit. I think it's got a nice illusion of light bending around it. I'm pleased with that. So I think what we're gonna do, and this is kind of what I did with the baboons, moving on to the dragonfly glaze, gold, red, violet. This stuff, it will really mute the neon paint. You'll still see the neon paint, but for some reason it will make paint less reactive, the neon paint less reactive to the black light. I don't know if it's just creating too much of a film on top of it, so the refractive index changes, so the black light can't get through it. I don't know. I don't do lasers or anything like that. I had a buddy who, in the Battletech games, he works with lasers in his job. Maybe we can ask him. All right, we're going to dilute this down because, as always, these glazes are super thick, and we don't want super thick. That's right. All right, thin that down a bit. Now, what we're going to do, we are going to apply this only in the darker areas. And that's because it's going to show through the darker areas. The pink is already acting as a centralized reflection point. And that's what these glazes are really for. They're about adding some reflective color to bounce it back. So that the cockpit looks more, glass-like. And, I selected a glaze that has a similar color, the violet, a similar color to the complementary color of the... And once again, I did it without zooming in. Oh, good times, good times. As you can see, it picks up the light a little bit, but when you don't have it directly reflecting, it does shift back to black. And that's what we're looking for. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how that's looking. So we're going to do a little bit of testing here. We can get out the black light. I'm going to see how it looks. Of course, I don't have it set up. So just bear with me for a minute. All right. Big light. Whoa. Oh, that is nice. I really like that. You can see there's no other parts of it. I mean, you can see the highlight of green, but it's not, I mean, it's not glowing. Yeah, compare that to the Phoenix Hawk. You can tell we've got, the weapons are similar, but you can still tell the difference between the units, not only by the color of the mech, but by the color of the cockpit. And that's part of what I was going for. I really wanted to have something that, if we do get wacky with some black lights in a night game, we can still tell them apart. So, all right, let's put the light back on. But man, I really enjoy how that cockpit came out. So, I almost forgot, we gotta clean up those missile pods a little bit and do a little accenting. So we're gonna go ahead and take a little bit of silver, and I can't recall if I worked with this last time. I think I did. This is the D&D prismatic paint silver. I think, again, this is one of the first paints I bought when I got back into painting. And very bright. It is very, very bright. So I think it's great for doing highlights on metal. And for, let's see here. Basically doing highlights on metal. That's really all I use it for at this point. We're also going to use the zinc again. You can compare the two. Yeah, let's do it in some light so you can see better. But the two, clearly the zinc here is quite a bit darker than the silver. So let's do a quick. I see the zinc. Man, that is fantastic. It's been sitting out for like 2 hours now. It's still usable, still workable. Now what we want to do is just break up some of the black paint. And we're going to do just a little bit in here, just to catch a little more light. That's better. Okay. Now, and this will be quick, real quick. Quicksilver. Ayo. All right. Loaded the brush up, and we're going to, again, this is one where we're going to go sideways, and we just want to just touch the edges to make the light bounce off the edge. Just highlighting the edge of a metal barrel. We aren't even really brushing, it's just dabbing it right on the edges there. So that kind of emphasizes the end of the barrel. Very nice, very nice. All right. You know, this is, that looks good, but I gotta say, the LRM9 is really bugging me. I don't know if this is a late run on the mold line. It's just my old eyes starting to go. It's probably my old eyes starting to go. That's a little better. Okay. That's nice. That's nice. Should I touch up these guys a little silver? Yeah, you know, we'll just leave. That's fine. Okay, so with that, yeah, just a little bit there, a little something to add to it. All right. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.